Last time on Sword Coast Adventures, you guys did battle with a creature that was unleashed by the researcher Harvey, and it was a hard fought battle. Everybody went down, um, but Rokus and Harvick were able to tap into some powers that they kind of were not aware of or were beyond their control. Rokus manifested some icy armor over himself, although it wasn't enough to save him. But Harvick was brought back to consciousness and full power by his god. As he was fading out, he saw a vision of Tyr, and due to a lucky third roll, got a pretty good boost in power as he came back. And then you went and read in Xanaphia's office for a very long time and discovered all kinds of information. And it seems like pretty much anything you'd want to know about her or the ATC is written down somewhere in that massive pile of documents. So we ended up with you guys confronting Zeraphim, who you weren't sure about his allegiances and things exactly, and we're hoping he would be peaceful. You've got him to agree to a truce under a zone of truth spell, so he told the truth that he would honor the truce, and he's interested in going to read the documents, and doesn't want to fight you guys right now. So that's where we start off.
Okay.
So yeah, Pookie Jones and him are out in the lobby with a bunch of dead bodies. Harvick was in the security chamber, and Solis, Rokus, and Icy were back in the lab section.
Okay, now I've got 2 badges, so I can walk over to the door and give him one of the badges so we can come in, and I'll say, okay, I'll come up with you to the library because I want to read stuff too, so I'll read whatever you read. And then while they're doing that, Celeste and Icy and Rokus can shove Harvey under that zone of truth, which is supposed to last for 10 minutes, and do some interrogation, would be my suggestion.
Okay. How does the zone of truth target? Let me take a look at that.
Just sits there, as far as I can tell.
So yeah, I'm gonna try to read the description. But yeah. Oh, there was one. There was a couple things to describe here. So Zeraphim is dressed a little differently than you saw last time. Last time he was wearing a kind of Eastern sarong around his waist, uh, sort of like a skirtish kind of loincloth thing. This time he's pretty much wearing the ATC uniform, but he's not wearing a shirt under his jacket. Seems like he's not a fan of shirts.
Right.
So he's got the standard jacket on, but he's just see his rippling muscles underneath.
He's okay. Like Randy at the trailer park.
Except yeah, just like that. I would say more like Fabio, but okay.
When you come to visit, Rich.
If you've seen a romance novel, he looks like one of those guys.
Oh, with muscles that don't function.
Some of those are photos, but yeah, maybe. All right. And also, because Solis is a wizard, when you guys she helped you guys tie up Harvey, the researcher, and and she would have explained that, we have to be careful, keep him gagged and blindfolded, and keep his fingers, like when you tie up his wrists, you need to like tie up his fingers even, or he's gonna be able to
Okay.
cast spells.
Okay.
Okay. Now, Harbeck, when you and Zeraphim are going through the records, see what they say about that self-destruct mechanism. We'll ask Harvey about it too,
Yeah.
but you may find it in the records. That would be a particular good thing to
Okay.
research.
Okay. Now,
Okay, yeah. So the zone of truth is a 15-foot across and up and down sphere, basically. So yeah, if you want to use it with Harvey,
We
you
can
can
drag
bring him to this area where you have cast it.
We can drag Harvey into it.
Yes, but so this says he probably doesn't have any spells that use only verbal commands. But yeah, be careful because a lot of spells depend on sight components. We've taken away his magic
He can't
his
can't
magic
see.
components and his magic focus. He doesn't have any material that he can use. But some spells only require verbal and somatic. Somatic being hand gestures.
okay. Now, I've got a spell called Hold Person. If I cast that on him, would he be able to still be able to talk?
No, he'd be paralyzed, so that
Okay.
wouldn't work.
Okay.
But
That'd be okay.
she says most wizard spells don't. There's not many there's not many spells in general which are verbal only. So
Okay.
How about we assure him if we hear him starting to say anything other than conversation, we'll just kill him.
you can do that. Hold on, let me see. Okay, so cool. All right, so Harbeck, have you given Zeraphim the badge?
Yes.
All right, so he puts it on his ATC coat. Pookie Jones comes up beside him, and you guys start walking back to the Xanaphia's office, where Harvey is at the moment. Okay, so you walk down the hall. There's nothing that happens, and you get to the office. And you were mentioning you wanted to kind of split up.
Yeah, they can interrogate while I want to read everything Zeraphim reads.
Okay, so you and Zeraphim at least are there. And so Rokus and Icy, you're gonna take Harvey to the Zone of Truth.
Yeah.
Take Celeste with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these two. Okay.
And I'm going to we'll ungag him to after we get to the Zone of Truth, but we're going to start by telling him that that if he wants to die, just start saying something that's not related to any questions you're asked.
Okay.
We're gonna wrap up his hands.
Before you start, one more question for Harbeck. How about Pookie Jones? Where do you want him to be?
Britt, you should come with us.
Have him go. No. Have Pookie go back up and see what's going on, because there's a bunch of other ATC people there.
Okay, sure. All right.
And I'll keep an eye on them.
Okay.
And let us know if it looks like any of them are coming back down.
I think Patricia was going to suggest that he come with us in case we have some trouble with the wizard. He can let you know.
Okay, you think that's a better idea?
It's just what I think Patricia was going to suggest, and just throwing it out there.
That's not a bad idea. Okay, how about this?
And Pookie Jones,
Make a
if you're in trouble, he can sort of pull on us to let us know to go help you.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Have him come up and do a quick scout about what's going on out there, and then come back down and hang around. That's a good idea.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, so just do a quick search just to see what's going on, and then
Okay.
come down. So
When he goes up to the lobby, the main foyer, I mean, I think he'd probably just see one of the ATC soldiers kind of just guarding the front door, not really doing anything in particular, just standing around.
okay, good.
Okay, so he'll come back down to the zone of truth and the interrogation.
Yeah.
So Zeraphim starts reading. So far, the papers he's shown him were basically the timeline of experiments. So he saw his name and he saw Eladrin breeding program, and he was like, disturbed. So he wanted to read more. So he goes and starts reading. He's taking his time, and yeah, it'll take a while. So, of course, the zone of truth only lasts 10 minutes. So let's cut back over there, and so you guys have Harvey blindfolded and tied up very securely, as per Selice's suggestion.
Okay.
So you ungag him, and
Yeah.
Rokus, you were. Yeah, go ahead. What did you want? How did you want to start it off? He can't see,
Yeah.
but he's
just gonna
conscious.
Yeah. I'm just going to tell him that we have placed him in a zone of truth. That we can't compel him to speak, but what he does say, we can count on being accurate. And that not to try any spells. If I hear you saying anything other than responding to our questions, I'm just going to cut your throat. I'm
All
not going
right.
to ask. No warnings, no
does
nothing.
does he feel the cold steel at his neck?
Yes.
Okay.
And so my first question is, are you willing to cooperate with us and answer some questions?
To a degree.
Okay. um, how long have you been working in this lab?
A few years off and on.
Okay. um, what was the what was going on here? Was this directed by Xanathia?
Yes.
Is there anybody that you know of above her in the structure?
At the ATC.
Or anywhere?
She does answer to the president, Octavian.
Okay.
However, she's quite powerful and has a degree of autonomy. How do I say this word? Autonomy.
Autonomy.
Yeah,
Autonomy.
Yeah. Okay. Why did you feel necessary to turn your co-workers into the stalkers?
So he says I had received orders from Xanaphia that she was interested in refreshing the staff of the mansion. So we had decided to conduct an experiment with the servants upstairs.
Okay, I understand the staff, but how about the other researchers?
Well, they. I didn't expect you to get past them. I was using them as defense.
Okay.
And these experiments, what is the purpose and what is your end goal?
We were tasked with creating weapons for use in invading territories.
And how do you see stalkers being used for offensive purposes?
Uh, the creatures that have been infected with the mana disease have a pretty short lifespan. Um, we've done testing within the borderlands of Thay, where we've injected a couple of citizens, and the the effects of the disease, whether it's contracting it through mana zombie bites or through the creatures killing their target, the surrounding people, is a very effective way of clearing out a town. And after a month or so, the creatures will die, and there will be no one left to resist.
So,
Very effective.
Is there any
Besides-
way to neutralize the effect of this? Is there an antidote?
So you guys already know that because you have
The
got
mana
it
elixir.
already.
Okay. Is there any way that this mana could impact you negatively or people of the ATC?
Yeah, it's very contagious. We were working on um an airborne version that was more contagious. The original version is just contractable through basically through the bloodstream.
for injection.
Now, the one you're working on could be airborne and inhaled.
Yes. That's what we were practicing with upstairs.
Any success with that?
Yes. We put the airborne virus into their biosuits so that the
Nice.
mansion wouldn't be infected.
Okay. Did you guys ever find anything positive that the mana can do?
What do you mean positive?
Anything beneficial?
Yes, we can turn people into monsters. That's very beneficial.
Well, I'm talking about beneficial from a standpoint of curing mundane diseases or anything like that.
Why would we want to do that?
I didn't ask you your motivation. I just was curious if you'd inadvertently found anything that it was good for other than creating monsters.
I mean, we create the mana gems from the mana.
Okay. So you can have power sources with it.
Yes.
Is there any way to destroy this mana?
Yes, but it's very um dangerous.
Now,
If
we
you
understand that,
activate it, it will explode.
and I
Explode it from a
understand,
distance?
What's that?
Could we safely explode it if we were from a distance?
Yeah, yes.
What what would we use to make it explode?
Um, so he basically says, shooting, basically shooting magic, powerful magic into the mana is enough.
how could that be done remotely?
He explains some spells that you're not familiar with.
Okay. Now, wasn't there like a timing device with this
The reactor.
at, at that control at the reactor?
Yes, the reactor is able to self-destruct. There are spells woven into it.
And, and is there a sequence to do that where it has a delay?
Yes, I don't suggest that you do that.
And why
We,
not?
It's very the the explosion would be catastrophic.
Well, that's why we'd like to have a delay on it so we have a chance to get far away.
would you be willing to destroy this mana and get back to just being a wizard in the world outside of here?
Um, I'd rather not discuss this kind of thing.
When Xanaphia comes and goes, does she use the transporter, or does she transport herself independently?
She teleports herself
Where is there any particular places she comes and goes from?
all around the world.
When she comes to this facility, is there any particular place that she typically arrives, or is it random?
To her office, I guess.
Okay. So, police, do you have any questions for him?
Yes, I do. Tell us all the sigil sequences to every ATC teleportation circle that you know. He says, well, how can I do that with my hands tied? He said, you tell me the runes and I'll copy it down. He says, very well. And so he does. He tells her, yeah, at least 3 or 4 different sigil sequences. So He says that
And where do they lead?
yeah, he says they lead to different ATC facilities in Waterdeep and in the east in um, Aglarond.
Waterdeep. Where else?
Aglarond, the eastern kingdom of Aglarond.
And how about the third one?
There are multiple ones inside of those facilities.
Oh, okay. Of the three or four of them, how many go to Waterdeep?
I'm not sure about that at the moment actually, but yeah, you have basically he's given you access to some places in both of those facilities.
Okay. So let's just number them 1 through 4.
Yeah, I'll give you more specific information later on about that.
Okay.
But yeah,
I'm
he
gonna
gave
want
you
to.
multiple for both of them. So
Okay.
Benefit do you get from this, Harvey, working for Xanaphia?
um, I'm extremely wealthy.
Do you still need to work for her, or would you be willing to work um, for someone
Uh,
else?
one does not really quit the ATC.
Why not?
So you're a prisoner, almost a prisoner, a well-paid prisoner.
You might say that, but I find it an agreeable agreement.
What if the ATC collapses?
That would be a sight to see, but I don't expect that to happen. Now, I've been quite cooperative.
Yes, you have.
Uh, I expect you to free me after this.
Well, I can't guarantee you we'll free you, um, but we will try to keep you from harm. And your conduct between now and when we get to the next stage of this adventure is going to determine to what extent you have a future. You do realize what you've been doing here is not going to be looked at favorably um, unless you were extraordinarily helpful between now and your judgment. Um, I wouldn't be betting strongly on your likelihood of freedom.
Hmm.
Now, because you're a wizard and we consider you to be a dangerous person, we will not allow you to be able to. Uh, we're going to keep you from casting spells best we can, and that's going to require that you can't utter um, that you can't utter spells. So you'll need to be gagged. Um, Unless you're willing to, under the zone of truth, swear that you won't do anything offensive or try to prevent us in any way of doing what we're going to do.
Or cause us any harm, or anybody in our party any harm.
So it's
Hmm.
up.
I will agree, but in return for my freedom.
Well, the amount of freedom we're willing to give you is that you won't be bound and gagged.
After you have left this mansion, you will free me.
I I, I can't I can't promise you that. It's not within my powers to promise you that. If Harbeck and Zeraphim and Sleece and everybody else agrees that that should happen, I won't prevent it, but I have a feeling Harbeck is a paladin and he's into vengeance. Um,
Well, in that case, I have nothing more to say.
okay. Well, look, I
Okay.
appreciate what you've done, and we'll keep it in your favor. And whatever happens, we'll try to keep that as on your balance on your scorecard as having been forthcoming and helpful. And with that, I'm sorry to have to gag you. So I stuff something into his mouth and tie it around so he can't talk.
All right. He seems surprisingly calm and um doesn't struggle or anything.
Okay, and we'll be gentle with him, and we'll secure him into a as comfortably as we can.
All right.
If there is
Okay, so it's been 10 minutes about of that spell anyway. So you guys make your way back to the other room, and Zeraphim is reading. Harvick is reading along as well. Um, so are there? I do remember. I don't know if it was at the end of the session last time or after the session, but Patricia had mentioned wanting to know more about Xanaphia herself, I think. So
Yeah,
if you want to
he
look
did.
for more information on that, you could do that while he's reading.
Well, what's he reading?
He's going through the Eladrin breeding program document.
Okay, so he's right now. He's reading stuff that
It's stuff that
I've
you
already
guys
read.
have
Then
already read, yeah.
okay, so yes, what do I know about what's her name, Zerathon or whatever?
Xanaphia.
Xanaphia. And I guess the
Xanathia.
Rokus and Icy would be the ones trying to look for that, since Harvick is keeping his eye on Zeraphim, kind of. Um. So, okay. So, is there anything specifically you wanted to know about her?
What's motivating her? What's motivating all of this? Or is it just so that they can invade and take over properties? But what's sort of the end? What's her sort of end goal?
Okay. So you're looking for more information about her, and you find a kind of a journal that seems like a personal journal, and there's a section where she kind of talks about her uh, origin story, I guess you could say, sort of autobiographical journal. So I'll post that in the Discord and read through it. This is not written really from her point of view, but it's the information that would be in there. So she was born in 992 DR. Xanaphia was the daughter of a mage, Zaros Donadil, working under King Grandor Olocene of Aglarond. By 1129, she and the other mages had staged a coup and taken over the kingdom of Aglarond. They instated a magocracy to rule the lands after their defeat by the Red Wizards in the 1380s. And because of the public's distrust of mages, she accepted a position working within the ATC as a way to maintain control without being a public figure. Around 1410, she started developing mana reactors to draw energy from the planet. Around 1420, she was experimenting with resurrecting Eladrin to help her harness the power of mana or lead the ATC to the Feywild. After the defeat of the Red Wizards in 1450, Xanaphia started construction on her mansion in the Troll Mountains east of Thunderfield. She conducted many experiments for her personal projects there. So as you read through it, you kind of get some of this backstory about her and the Red Wizards, and it seems that that's her main motivation working with the ATC is that she used to be in control of that kingdom. The Red Wizards came in and the ATC drove them out, and she's been working with them since then.
Who's in charge of Azeron right now?
So yeah, basically, so you guys have heard that Octavian Marcellus, the president of the ATC, he is the chancellor of the kingdom of Aglarond. And then looking through.
Okay, so ATC controls Aglarond right now.
Yeah, so I think within her documents you'd get a better feeling of it, but yeah, publicly, there is a king of Aglarond, but he's basically got like an office in the ATC, and it's pretty obvious that Octavian is the real ruler of Aglarond. But technically he's just his like advisor.
And his position in the ATC is the head?
Who?
Octavian.
Yeah, Octavian is the president.
Can we? There's a portrait and a statue there. Can we read from our reading, figure out who they are?
Okay, the portrait was of her father.
Okay.
And the other one said Augustus.
Right.
So you want to look for more ATC information?
Yes.
Okay.
And also, is there any history on that demon?
Gratzt.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think there's any really additional information from what I think Harvick knows about pretty much as much as that would be there.
Okay.
It doesn't seem that she has a really big interest in Gratzt. I guess you would see from her notes that she thinks that she did mention before that she thought that Zeraphim, because his body was created from Gratzt, that his body might be like compatible as a vessel for Gratzt, and that she thought he should be kept away from those relics of Gratzt.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
She seems to think that if the relics are destroyed, they will return to the abyss and basically resurrect Gratzt. In his dimension, and she doesn't particularly want to do that. It doesn't benefit her. He's a chaotic, evil demon. Not the kind of guy you would make a partner of.
He's got 5. I already had Pookie check him out on that.
Okay.
Yeah, Zeraphim has 5 fingers.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah. So looking through documents, you find a section, something about Augustus Marcellus. It says he founded the ATC in 1378 at the age of 43. He was a skilled businessman and made a deal to work with the Magiocracy of Aglarond. In the 1380s, he had his security forces lead a counterattack on the Red Wizards of Thay, who had killed most of the leaders of Aglarond. After defeating the Red Wizards, he helped the populace to reinstate the kings of Olocene and employed the remaining wizards in his company. In 1401, his troops accidentally discovered an ancient Eladrin temple and burial ground, which is where they
But
got
that
the
one,
mummies, the Eladrin mummies, and the torso of Gratz, which appeared
okay.
to them to be an Eladrin. They weren't sure what that was.
But that's in Agalond or wherever.
Yeah, and then it describing it sounds very similar to what you guys found in Torale, which was a bunch of coffins are outside of the place where you found the hand.
Okay. Yeah.
This one's got the body instead of the hand,
Right.
torso.
Yeah,
So
and
there's going to be other ones around.
right. And just to refresh your memory, the torso is now in Waterdeep, and the head is here in the mansion, in the G containment room. The room where you fought that monster.
Were there any burial? Are there any coffins with mummies around the head?
No, so it appears that it was discovered elsewhere and brought here.
What happened to the coffins with the mummies?
Reading about the mummies, it seems that normally a resurrection spell cannot resurrect someone who's been dead for, I think it was a few hundred years is the maximum normally. So the description is that they had a very expensive and enhanced version of the spell True Resurrection. Uh,
Who took the torso to Waterdeep?
the ATC. It's in the ATC's labs there.
Is there any like special containment?
Yeah, it's contained in Well, it doesn't describe it in great detail, but yeah, it's in a containment like facility. Yeah.
Okay, and the head is here.
Yeah, and you didn't see the head in the room, but you saw there was a metallic kind of statue uh on a kind of metal cylindrical section at the back of the G containment room. So you might assume it would be in there. There was a kind of a face, metallic kind of another relief statue kind of thing of a face that resembles what Gratz is drawn as in the documents here.
And is there any other information about body parts here and there?
Yeah. She has some. She has a list of where she presumes that the parts might be.
But she doesn't want to resurrect this guy because he's dangerous.
Yeah. But she wants to find out more about Eladrin, and that it seems that the Eladrin they found the head and the torso in some temples where they got a lot of information about Eladrin. Like
Okay.
most of what they know about the Eladrin they got from there. So she is interested in finding more of the temples. And if the body parts are in those temples, that's kind of a way for her to find out where they were.
Okay.
So
Now,
here is a list of that.
okay. Now, these temples, any of the rest of them have the entrance to the Fae?
So they have only located 2 of the temples, and they don't know where. Okay, so on this list I wrote it kind of specifically for the hand. She doesn't in her document it wouldn't say it like Torale. It would say like northern Sword Coast.
Okay.
So she's not sure where the temple is within the northern Sword Coast.
Okay, now on reading this, would we come to the by reading this, would we come to the conclusion that the reason the ATC is trying to acquire all this land is they're trying to find all these body parts?
No. It seems more that they don't care so much about the body parts, but the body parts are leading them to where the temples are, and they
Okay.
think that the temples will have some way for them to get to the Feywild.
Okay.
So they apparently found a document or a list of a kind of an account of the end of the battle with Grotst and the fact that they spread out the body parts to these different sections of the continent, and they haven't really found any other clues to where the temples would be other than that. So they're
Okay,
kind
so
of
they have
using
not.
yeah, they're using the body parts to kind of track down the temples, but they don't want to resurrect Grotst.
Okay. The temples will allow them to get to the Feywild. That's what they're
They
hoping for.
they're hoping. And you guys have
They have,
found Rokus was able to get to the Feywild.
right, yeah, by drinking the water, yes.
Well, you're not
Um,
sure exactly what it was, but
I'm also a Ladrin,
yeah,
so I
now you
might,
found out that you're a Ladrin, so that is might have something to do with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was my thought.
So yeah, as a side note, yeah, basically Rokus reading about these things, you're like probably laughing to yourself because she threw you out as a failed experiment. But you basically are what
That
she was
makes
looking
sense.
for.
I'd throw him out as a failed experiment.
Well, she wanted an Eladrin elf who could take her to the Feywild, and that seems to be what you are. So
Yeah, I
she
don't
was
see her.
she judged you incorrectly.
Yeah, like Harbeck.
I judge him as a piece of shit, so yeah, I guess yeah.
Whoa, whoa. Is that
So
pretty
he's
harsh? Jeez.
a somewhat useful piece of shit. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, it seems like looking back at Augustus, he seems like a pretty good guy actually. Like, um, he didn't seem like he was doing anything evil back then.
Okay. And now Augustus and her father are both dead now. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
that's right. But yeah, it seems that the founder of the ATC, he fought off the evil necromancers, and he restored the king, and the wizards who had overthrown the king originally, he got them to work for his company because they're smart and they know lots of useful magic things. So he basically solved all the problems over there in the east, and it's pretty obvious like how he was able to create this such a powerful company after doing something like that.
So the organization, up until Xanaphia started her stuff.
Well,
It,
she was with it since that point. So um
Now
yeah.
Xanathia, when that explosion, I still haven't figured out how that explosion took place in Neverwinter. and especially the guards. It looked like they were against the monsters coming out. So I'm wondering if Xanathia is. Is there any way we can find out if she's actually working with or for the ATC, or is she working independently?
Um,
Harvey said she was working for them.
yeah, I
I'm
mean
not sure.
it. Oh, you're talking about her motivation.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, roll. I'll have you do an investigation on roll on this one to see if you can
Okay. Wait
find
a minute.
the answer. And the others are helping you, so you can do it with advantage.
Okay. So investigation with advantage.
Yeah.
I got a 13.
No, you shouldn't roll,
That's
Focus.
me. That's what I got actually. 12 plus 1, 13. And my second roll, 15 plus 1, 16.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to find some documents that it's kind of not going into specifics on the location, but you can tell that she's talking about the ATC expo that you guys were at. She says basically the the city states of the Sword Coast are not um not trying to they're not trying to come to the east and join in with their conquest of Thay. They're not too concerned about that, but they want to make sure the Sword Coast is on the ATC's side. So they are they have created a bomb which is able to, when it explodes, it will pierce into the surrounding victims and inject them with the mana disease. And the mana zombies appear to be undead, and that will be easy to convince everyone that it was an attack from the Thay necromancers, as long as they're able to destroy the mana zombies quickly enough before anybody investigates them too thoroughly.
Okay, so we've got some of the zombies back there for people to investigate. But okay, now these zombies came immediately. When we're reading the diaries of the servants, it took a few days for the thing to what's the difference there?
Okay, so Rokus now knows the answer to that because he asked the researcher, and Rokus has found out that the airborne version was put into the suits that were supposedly keeping them safe from the so-called accident, which never happened. So they actually put this put the disease into the suits, and the guys were breathing it in, and apparently that version uh, is a lot slower to occur.
Okay, so if you're injected, it's immediate. If you breathe it, it takes a few days.
Right, about a week. Also, you find that they're planning to possibly spread the airborne version and then sell the cure for a high amount of money.
And the cure is the elixir.
Yeah.
So if you're infected, even if you give it to someone's infected, they'll revert back to what they were.
The elixir?
Yeah.
So that the elixir would work a lot better on the airborne version because it would, as long as you haven't fully transformed yet, it sounds like it would revert you back to your original form, pretty much. If you've taken an injection, you'd have to get the elixir just basically immediately, or it's not likely to. It will like kill the disease, but your body would be destroyed from the transformation, basically.
Okay, what about the mutants? How do they form? How do you go from a zombie to a mutant?
Okay, hold on. Okay. So there's a part that says basically, is that 8? I think there are 8 schools of magic. So conjuration, transmutation, divination, necromancy, evocation, abjuration, enchantment, and illusion. Each one, when infused into mana, will create a different type of mana disease. It seems that conjuration creates the mana zombies, which produce a kind of a poisonous effect. Poison spells being conjuration normally. Mana mutants are created through transmutation. So spells which are about mutation, moving, changing of objects. Stalkers are created through divination, which are usually for sensing things and stuff. And so you notice that they had the exposed brains and no eyes, but were able to sense you guys. And then there are some others that you didn't encounter that are mentioned, but not really specific.
Can you print that out for us? Because I can't type that fast.
Okay.
And okay. So what happens? What would happen if nobody had cast any spells on the mana? You injected somebody. What would happen?
Hold on. So at the top of this document says, in its raw form, mana has unpredictable effects on living creatures. However, infusing mana with the power of a specific school of magic seems to cause a disease-like effect with more predictable reactions.
Okay, so basically, if we injected someone with raw mana, we have no idea what would happen.
Yeah, and I guess it would probably just say, yeah, that none of the subjects who were injected with raw mana survived.
Okay.
So it's not a good idea.
Okay.
But yeah. Okay, anything else you guys want to ask about?
I'm still trying to figure out what was supposed to what did they want to happen with it at the expo?
I
They
think
wanted
Rokus had it pretty much figured out from the beginning. So you go ahead and tell them.
They wanted to look like they were saving the city. They created the problem and then saved everybody.
Okay.
And they blamed it on their enemies, who they wanted to gain support to go attack.
Right.
Specifically because Octavian was had been talking to Lord Neverwinter about basically wanting to do away with the Lord's Alliance and just put himself in control,
Okay.
and you know, which Neverember pretty much saw as being like vassalized. He wanted, seemed like Octavian just wanted to be the emperor of the Sword Coast instead of just a member of
Okay.
the Lord's Alliance.
Okay, and as far as we can tell, Xanathia and the ATC are both of them are in agreement. Well, this is something they planned together.
Yeah, it been the stuff. It sounds like a lot of her experiments are her own thing, but she hands those things over to the ATC for them to
Okay,
use for their profit, basically.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Do we want to send this information using the sending stone to the Emerald Enclave and let them know what the information we have found out?
We can do
Well,
that.
The only thing
we
about
25
can only get
words.
yeah,
we're
yeah.
only allowed 25 words or something. So we
It'll
can do
be
something. Go ahead.
nothing. I was just going to say it have to be very brief.
I think we need to get back there and explain things in greater detail.
Yeah, but like you do know that Aaron is waiting to find out what the heck is going on here. As far as he knows, there
Yeah.
were a couple mana zombies wandering around in the forest. That's about all they knew.
Okay.
We can let them know. We can say evil, evil directed
Well,
by,
now,
and then we can list the names. I mean, that's easy enough.
okay, Rokas had I looking for it now. Okay, Rokas sent us, and I think this was by email, not during the game.
Yeah.
A message. Can you find that? Because it looked pretty good. Can you find that, Rich?
Let me look.
Because we need to communicate, and we
Yeah.
haven't done that. Even if it's
Right.
only limited to 25 words, we can say
Yeah, I
destruction
say,
perpetrated, and we can list the people. We can say
yeah. I've got in my notes that Richie or Rokas has already came up with what we should send, but he did it by
Didn't he?
email, and he did it by email to us, and I
But did-
forgot to, and then we forgot to actually do it in the game.
Okay. Just thinking we need to, like it's an oversight, so we should be doing that every time we get together, is sending a message and receiving a message.
But we can only do it once a day.
Yeah.
So anytime we have a long rest, before we do a long rest, anytime we do a long rest, we ought to do it.
The main time that you missed your opportunity was when you first arrived and you were trying to burn the place down. You waited. You did a long rest at that point. You should have probably reported in at that point. But then for all the sessions we've played the past few weeks have been on the same day, so.
Okay.
You've
But
only
we've had
been
a
here
long rest, so
you've only been here
this
for
is
2
a good day.
days. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you actually missed a second opportunity. Yeah, because you did a long rest. I forgot about that.
We'll just
we dummied out.
I missed an opportunity, and we'll try and do that at the end of this session, or we can do it right now. What do you guys think?
What time is it?
In the game?
almost 10.
In the morning?
I'm talking about in the game?
In the game, yeah, in the game.
Sorry.
Yeah, you woke up in the morning and did this stuff. I think all that reading would take quite a while, so it's at least, yeah, I guess 10, yeah, 10 in the morning. That's fine.
Okay. Probably should wait till toward the end of the day, unless we decide to destroy the place.
Yeah, and I mentioned it out of game, but I'll say it here too. The reason Aaron isn't checking in with you guys is because he wants to get your report and then issue you orders. So
Yeah.
if if he calls in just to say hello, then he's gonna
Yeah, yeah.
waste his response. So he's not doing that.
Did you find what you had suggested?
Yeah, I think I might have just now. There's 25 words. I was thinking for the first 18 words is what I had down. Searching zombie laboratory, found deceased EA agent, Xanathia's boots, evidence of staff to zombie conversion with ATC involvement.
I think that is an outdated message at this point.
Yeah, that's when we first got there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably want to write a new one.
Okay.
So yeah, I would say uh if you want to do it now, you just type it
Laboratory.
out in Discord, and we'll
Yeah.
count your words. And you can do that
Yeah.
while we're
Okay,
talking about Zeraphim, I guess. Although
I'll work on it.
you probably wanna be involved, so I don't know. Maybe it's not a good time actually.
Well, let's see where we get to. But
Yeah.
I guess we need. Okay.
So
I'm just-
yeah, Richie, how about you hold off on the message right now, cause we're gonna do kind of Seraphim's reaction to what he's reading now.
Yeah, because that's certainly something we want to know before we put the message out as on there. So
Okay.
let's see what Zerathim thinks.
All right. So it seems that he has read through pretty much everything that you had read the previous day. Harbeck, let's see. I guess everybody roll an insight check to see if you can see what he's thinking.
I'm looking for insight. Oh, here it is. Okay.
Of 25 for insight.
Ooh.
All
Oh,
right.
10.
Okay.
Is that your total?
Yeah.
Ruckus, how about you?
Insight. Yeah, plus 6. 15.
Okay. So Harbeck got a 10. He just sees that he notices Seraphim seems very calm, I guess. He's not having a very obvious reaction. Ruckus, you can get the sense that he's so still because possibly he's in distress. And I see with your high roll of 25, you're pretty sure that he's like almost in shock. He's kind of hiding it as well as possible, but you notice a slight like shaking of his hand, and yeah, you're getting the impression that he's trying to deal with this information that he did not know about, and is basically destroying his whole sense of self. And outwardly he's not showing it too much, but you can tell that it's rocked him. But he's reading through everything. He's very thorough. He's not skipping anything. He's just reading and reading and reading.
How are you feeling about all this stuff you're finding out, this information? It's a bit upsetting, isn't it?
You just see him kind of like, he looks like he wants to say something, but he just swallows and keeps reading.
I think we should wait until he finishes reading.
Good with that.
Okay, it takes you guys sit there reading the stuff that we've gone over today.
We can explore this area.
Yeah, if you want. I think you guys already rolled for looking around here. But yeah,
Looking around the entire area, or just the room? I'm talking about going on into other rooms and things like that while he's doing his reading. See
oh,
what
okay.
else is around.
Sure. I don't think I have anything else to give you though on the the rooms.
Now, the room where the monster was, weren't there some other pedestals with stuff in them in that room
Hold
where
on.
the Triceratops thing came out?
Okay, yeah. That was the. Hold on. Let me get my map. That was the holding facility. MBW containment on the map. So you're able to go through those rooms if you want to. You see evidence of the experiments that was mentioned in the um part talking about different schools of magic, but it seems that none of them are really functional. You can't tell that much, but a lot of them are like not fully formed, so they don't seem to be kind
They
of
don't pose a danger?
they don't seem to be posing a danger from what you can tell.
At
Like
the
So the
moment.
a couple of them are missing legs and arms and have like strange like deformities and things.
but they were successful with the monster.
Yeah, the ones that you have fought with. Yeah.
Okay, now I guess I can ask this to Rokus, but I'm looking at the uh, thing that Ian sent the last time, where when you got your armor. It says they may cry freezing tears, and those around them will even be sapped of their will. And is that why, in your opinion, is that why the monster we were fighting all of a sudden stopped doing anything? But there were hands coming out, but he just let us beat on him for the last couple of movements. Was that part of your Eladrin spell or whatever you want to call it?
I really barely could control. I had no control over it or
Did you
will
feel
now.
some? Did you feel some sort of a energy coming from you that sapped the will of the monster? Remember, he
Only
didn't.
only only thing I can tell you is that I felt um like it was armored.
Right. Well, what does God tell you? What does God say you felt?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean Rokus's response there is pretty accurate to what his character would feel and know. So yeah, he's not really aware of that effect happening.
Okay.
The
Because
only the only thing you can see is that it looked like it was trying to um transform, change its physical form in some way, but wasn't able to complete it. I guess Celise is there too. She says, it could have been a sort of a malfunction.
okay.
Not sure. Not I'm not sure what it was trying to do, but it was transforming in some sort of way.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to ask Celeste too. Uh, if we had not rushed into the room and the monster was there, did you have some sort of spell you could have cast, but it would have destroyed us?
Yeah, I have a fireball spell that hits multiple targets, but you guys were all together, so I couldn't use it.
Right. I thought you were trying to get us out of there. Okay.
But at the start, I wasn't expecting to need to use that anyway, because I didn't know he was gonna release that thing.
Right. Is there anything else around here that he could release that you know of?
Well, I mean, it doesn't seem like the other creatures are functional in the other containment, but if they're released, they might be able to do some damage. But
Any way we can neutralize them?
um,
So, like if we broke the glass, what would happen?
I wouldn't suggest doing that. There might be some kind of disposal function, but I'm not. That wasn't my department, so
Harvey released one thing remotely.
yeah.
Should have remembered to ask him about that.
I don't think he's gonna tell us anything now.
No, he was pretty cooperative. I tell Harbeck, um, but he was upset that I wouldn't agree to free him once we got out of here. I couldn't do that.
If you were, again, if we put him under a zone of truth and he agreed to leave and never have anything else to do with the ATC again, that would be extremely generous of you. I'd be interested to see what happens to you under extreme generosity. And given what he's done, that would be extremely generous, wouldn't you think?
I'm not sure if generosity of that sort is what would trigger it. I
You
think it
don't
would.
think so?
No, I think it would have to be something where the generosity was directed by something that was deserving of it,
Mm,
not like a bribe.
okay.
I like that. I think you're thinking along the right lines.
Before Zeraphim actually finishes, um, Crocus is going to go over and just put his hand on his shoulder and
Okay.
kind of talk closely, lean down close to him, and just say that
He's so tall that him sitting down is about as tall as you.
okay. Then I just lean over and sort of lean up against him and say, this party has been together for some time. We've fought dragons. We've cleared castles full of bugbears and mines full of evil creatures. Um, and that this I know this information is kind of overwhelming, but um, you don't have to be alone. That our group is we may not any one of us be able to stand up to you, but we're a group, we're a team, and you don't have to you don't have to be alone with your dealing with this new information.
All right. What is your charisma modifier?
-1.
Okay, that's what I thought. So, um, I want you to roll a persuasion check with advantage. Tell me what that is.
13.
Okay. All right. So when you touch his shoulder, you feel like he is really, really hot right now. But as you're talking, you feel kind of a little bit of your Eladrin compassion. You feel kind of the generosity of Fall. Um, I don't think anybody would really notice it, but you kind of get one of the feeling that your um, Eladrin magic is kind of coming through as you're talking. Just part of what gives you advantage on that roll there.
Oh, and one last thing I forgot to say is that I'm also part of that um breeding program. Um I'm the missing elf um that was abandoned. Now I just found out about this too, so I'm a little bit in turmoil as well.
All right, that now once you say that, he turns to look you in the eye when you said that, and you see you can feel like yeah, when he looks at you, you get like pretty strong emotional response because his eyes are like they're just staring at you, but you can feel that it's just a like a deep depression that he has right now. Uh, but then you see his face turn into uh he goes from a face full of despair to a face full of anger, and his eyes you actually see flames within his eyes. Um, and you can understand why he was mistaken for an Eladrin, because his he's giving off a heat that you've never felt from a person before. And he rips off his ATC coat and looks at it, and then you see it burst into flames, and he throws it on the floor.
Definitely angry.
And he stands up and says, I want to see my father.
Are you going to tell him about his father?
He
Yeah,
knows
your
about his
father
father.
is a dismembered demon that is not going to be safe
Parts are spread all over.
or advisable to be associating with.
Are you gonna say anything to him like that? What are you saying that to
Yeah,
him?
yeah.
He says,
You just read about this guy. He's chaotic evil. You're not chaotic or evil. Um, I think that
um,
would be a a very bad idea.
so as you say that, he looks like um he doesn't know what to do with himself, and he's not he doesn't like people telling him what to do, but he you get the feeling that he agrees with you, and he punches into one of the um cabinets there and explodes it basically with the force, and it splinters fly around the room. But then he doesn't leave the room. He just stands there somewhere.
So, Zeraphim, do you need to go back outside to end the truce, or do you want to just help us try to end this madness?
gonna kill every single ATC member.
The ATC and Xanathia are two separate things, aren't they?
I don't think so.
Oh,
That's what I was trying to find out when I was talking to when we were reading the stuff. That's what I was trying to find out. It sounds to me like they're pretty much the same. Remember, I was asking about Xanathia being
Right. Well,
Zeraphim says Xanaphia is the most powerful enemy among them, but this whole organization has been using me and lying to me my whole life.
true. That is very
And
true.
I want to have Octavian's head in my hands.
So
Well-
are you going to attack the ATC that are upstairs? Is that your first plan of action?
I'll give them a chance because
I was
I've
gonna
worked
say,
with them. But if they don't, I'll kill them.
would they be willing to come down and see some of the documentation to understand why? Do you think that'd be a good idea?
I'm not sure, Rokas.
Well, I was gonna say, Zeraphim,
What do you, Zeraphim, you've been with these people. What do you think?
I don't know what to think anymore. I don't really care what they think. But I'll give them a chance.
well, okay. Is this something you want people to know about the way you've been betrayed, or is this something you would rather keep to yourself? We'd be the only people that know
Everyone will
about it.
know when Waterdeep is in flames.
Well, they won't know the reason for why you're so pissed. That's what I'm saying. Is that you want people to know the way you've been fooled, and then you'll have to go around with.
he wasn't so much fooled as manipulated. There's a big difference.
So as you guys talk and ask his opinion, it seems like you can tell, like, it's pretty obvious that he's not thinking straight and he's really pissed off.
Okay.
He looks like he's every time he's about to say something, he just like clenches his teeth again because he doesn't know what he wants to do. Like he's thinking, oh, that sounds reasonable, but then as soon as he's like that, thinking anything compassionate, he's just like, but fuck everything. You can just, not only is he like fuming mad, but like he's giving off a actual flaming heat from his body. He's like anger incarnate. Like you never seen this kind of reaction to someone being angry. Like it's kind of awe-inspiring in a way.
Icy, do you have any kind of a spell that would calm someone down?
I don't think so. I would probably tell him
Some sort of a healing spell or something?
There's a spell called Calm Emotions. I don't know if she has that. I don't think so.
How about I suggest to Zeraphim that I go upstairs and explain enough to the ATC guys that there's information they need to know, and invite them to come review what's here so they can make up their mind what they're going to do, and let them know that you are going to give them a chance, but they need to take a stand.
Project. The ATC is out to harm us. They're causing a lot of trouble. Zeraphim is very angry. What we
These
need to do is harness that anger. Instead of making it a red hot anger, let's make it a cool, calculating anger. And
well,
if we can direct him in that way, we have to calm him down. You going up to talk to the ATC puts you in danger.
I don't think so.
We've never had good interaction with the ATC. Like, I'm just throwing it out there. Like,
Sure.
you know, like Zeraphim is very angry. He's hot angry. What we need to do is get him into a cool, calculating anger.
Well, that's
That's what.
fine. I was going to go tell the ATC that Zeraphim's found out a lot of information that explains what's been going on here, and that
Do we want to give them information? Do we want to give our enemy that type of information where they can get Xanaphia here? I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking out loud and trying to
Yeah,
strategize in a different way.
that's fine. I'm hearing you, but he said he was going to give them a chance. He wasn't going to just slaughter them.
Okay, then let's.
And if he's upset, I didn't want to put him in the position to have to bridle and hold in that terrible anger while he's trying to deal with those guys, and let them know
Just
that.
we can talk him into turning his hot anger into a cool, calculating anger. Like he is justified in being angry. We have to let him
Yeah.
know that, and we
Well,
need
sure.
to help him harness it.
I'm fine with all that.
Okay.
It seems to me that that's something a druid would be really good at.
Okay.
Yeah. If is there something you want to say directly to him to kind of get him into a more calculated mood, I guess?
Finn, I realize you are very angry, but if you just go off.
Oh, wait.
Oh, I
Before you
think
do,
I think you should
right?
let her finish that. You can, if there's something important, we can figure it out.
Okay.
But go ahead, Patricia.
After reading all of this, I can see you being angry. And you're justified in being angry because you've been manipulated. But if you just fly off the handle, it may not it may not have the desired results you want. What I think you need to do is harness that anger in a more calm and calculating way, and to work out a plan of how you're going to do this, and how we can help you and support you, and how you can help and support us. So what I think you need to do is to take in 3 deep breaths and blow out slowly. You can hang on to that anger, but go to a place where you are controlling the anger, and we can make a plan together to help you in addressing the wrongs that have been done to you. How do you feel about that, Zeraphim?
Okay.
What I wanted to do,
Yeah.
what
Go
I
ahead,
wanted
Marty.
to do was have her. I wanted to help her
Mm-hmm.
so that if she's rolling persuasion or something like that, she gets advantage.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. But you should say something also in that case.
Okay, well, okay, and so what I would say is that the ATC is very powerful, and rather than just storming in, they might be able to defeat you if you hooked up with us, and that would increase the chances of your actually being successful and defeating the ATC.
Okay, cool. So
Now,
you're
now
kind
my
of applying appealing to strategy there, kind of, right?
right, yes, and my persuasion is +6, so I'm not sure who
Yeah.
gets to roll on that.
What's yours, Patricia, for IC's
Persuasion.
persuasion?
I rolled a
What's your
7.
plus on it though?
Plus one?
Just a +1.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have you're working together, but because his plus number is higher, we'll have him roll.
And
It,
can I
yeah.
yet?
What's that?
Um, can I add a little bit of more information around strategy?
That you want to tell to Zeraphim?
Yes.
Okay,
The
sure.
ATC upstairs doesn't know that you have met with us. So they have no idea that you know this information. So if you go up there and they think you're still one of them and on their side, that will give you an advantage.
Okay, that's true for if it's about attacking. Okay, but yeah. So you were trying to calm him down and make him think about like, okay, if you might be able to defeat a lot of them by yourself, but if you just go in there pissed, you're probably not gonna get all the way to the president or Xanaphia.
Yeah.
Um, so
And so and that could be you, Celise, telling him that.
yeah, Celise could. I think Celise is pretty uh, scared. I don't know if she's gonna jump in.
Okay.
I think she says, I quit the ATC, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll vouch for her. She's been really helpful and put herself at risk to get us where we are.
All right, so
And didn't know
Zeraphim,
about the inherent evil.
Celise, yeah, I don't know. Celise is a little bit guilty, but yeah. So go ahead. Harvick can roll with, since you have the higher plus. You roll with advantage with Icy helping you talk him down, kind of.
Okay, first one is 10 plus 6, 16. Second one is 18 plus 6, 24.
All right, that's a good roll. So yeah, um, you're able to you can see that he's kind of calming down to a simmer instead of a boil. Um, and he says, "You're probably right. Uh, I'll explain it to them. If they don't believe me, that's their own problem. We don't have. I don't need to show them all the receipts."
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you want to take the note from Carla, her suicide note?
So I guess you hand it to him and he takes a look at it. He says, "This is about the one who was hanging upstairs?"
Yes, I didn't know if you knew her or not.
Nope, but just another person like me, except she was powerless.
That would be a good note to show the guards so they realize that that ATC doesn't mind turning them into zombies if it's to their advantage. That should probably increase the chances of the guards not being all that interested.
Point.
All right, and
And
he
I
said
think
one more thing is Seraphim will say, uh, "You had a researcher tied up."
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Harvey.
Yep, he's right here.
From what you guys said, doesn't seem like he's feeling any remorse.
He hasn't shown any, no. I
Sounds
think
like
he's a very evil wizard.
cocky asshole.
That's
I
a
think
good
he might
description.
be a good practice target. You mind if I take out some of my frustrations?
I'm a paladin of vengeance, so you certainly have. I may not. I will not stop you.
All right.
Won't
So
try to stop you either.
let's go upstairs for now.
Do we, Zeraphim, do you want to approach the ATC guard by yourself? Or do you want all of us to be with you?
You can
Or should
come.
we be in the background in case you need our help? What do you think you need?
You can come. I don't need
Skeptical
help,
he's going to need
but
help. Considering what we saw, considering what we saw in Neverwinter, I don't think he's going to need a whole lot of help.
yeah.
Do we want to take Harvey with us and all go together?
Well,
Yeah.
to kill him first.
So yeah, you guys start. He starts walking. You guys get. He grabs Harvey by the back of the neck and like picks him up like a cat.
On the scruff.
Yeah, basically. And you hear Harvey like screaming in pain as he's carrying him upstairs. And he throws him down in front of himself and says, "Attention!" And the other ATC guards show up after not very long. They all run in front of him and line up. Says, "I'll make a long story short. Just found out Xanaphia has been manipulating me along with the ATC for my entire life. I am not, in fact, an Eladrin, but one of her sick creations. Those zombie-like creatures that we've been fighting have been created by the ATC themselves. And I'm planning to take down the ATC now. I have decided to quit. And I don't think the ATC is gonna be around much longer. So I'm gonna give you guys a chance to hand in your resignation right now. Otherwise, I'll be your enemy." And all of the soldiers throw down their weapons and they start taking off their uniforms like instantly.
Smart move.
He says,
I agree.
I figured you'd see reason. Now, we have to decide what to do with this place. Apparently, we can blow it up. But if we do that, there's a demon head who's apparently my father down in the basement. If we blow up the whole building, he'll be sent back to the abyss.
And he's
And
safer here.
it'd probably be better to. Yeah, I'm pretty conflicted about this part. I don't know. I'll leave it up to you guys, I guess. But
Can't we take the head
if
somewhere else?
If Xanaphia's notes are correct, there's probably a possibility that if I came in contact with that, I might be possessed or something.
Why don't we arrange to take the head somewhere safe?
Yeah. Now that I'm out here, actually, I think it was talking to me when I was down there.
Ah.
Like I've been feeling this draw to this building, and I didn't know why.
Okay, that would explain it.
but I was about to go in there and grab the head until you guys calm me down.
Does anyone here have a either Celeste or Icy or someone have some sort of a teleport spell? You could move the head.
I don't
I don't
think
think I do.
anybody has telekinesis or something. So Zeraphim says, yeah, I have the ability of telekinesis, but now that I'm up here, I don't think I should go back down.
Yeah, yeah.
Why don't we separate and we'll take the head out and bury it in the we'll take it with us we'll separate and we'll get it to that other village so when this place blows up it won't go with it. And then we'll make arrangements to get it to Phandelver or somewhere that we can secure it.
All right. So you guys, you men, you go downstairs with them and help them gather all the documents. I want to have all the evidence we can to
Yeah.
get allies.
Okay.
Yeah.
But,
We can stuff it in our magic backpack. Can't weigh that much if it's just papers.
Yeah, and then Zeraphim says, I'm fine with going along with your ideas of being strategic, but just to let you know, I'm not someone who does things sneakily. When it's time, I'm going straight for the kill. But I will work along with you guys.
Okay.
Within
Thank you
reason.
for letting us know that.
Yeah, and we we've been coming to places like this, and we took on this place, and that was pretty unattractive. So we're not known to shy away from adventure.
What about? Do we know how to blow up this? Do we know how to blow up this place in such a way that we don't get blown up with it?
So yeah, so I'm not gonna go into all the details, but Celeste basically was able to understand how to do it, and she says, yeah, we can make sure that it doesn't blow up for a couple hours after we've left.
Now I have one last thing. Won't Xanathia show up here at some point? Isn't she likely to teleport here?
So Celeste says, looking around, I kind of think, I think she was done with this place, and that's why all this happened.
Okay.
I think
I
think she's finished with her experiments, and
I thought the mana generator would be something that she would want to continue to use.
She's at the top of the ATC. They have she can just she's there are other reactors around in other ATC facilities.
Okay.
I don't think
So
I think for a normal person that it would be a crazy idea to leave this place, but for her it's just a dispensable
okay.
something she's used up.
If
I'm
if
surprised
if it,
she didn't take some of her stuff like the painting though.
I was gonna say if she wasn't gonna come back, there's an awful lot of her stuff here.
So
Um,
thinking back, you did notice in her room like all of her clothes were gone and like her jewelry boxes were empty. So thinking back at it, it does seem like most of her like daily valuables have been taken. Um, but yeah. So he says, I think she wasn't like hoping for to use the self destruct, but she was gonna have everybody in the place killed and come back next winter and get some new staff. Um,
Mm. Yeah, she was
And get
destroying
the
everything.
takers, and let's get out of here and blow this place up. Let's get moving.
I agree. I think so. I think we have discussed the plan. We don't need to go through it. I'm just gonna say you guys get all the documents. Zeraphim goes off and waits in the forest. The ATC help you guys get the documents. They get Finn out of the room where he was kind of tied to a chair and brings him out. You guys gather your horses and your. You
Beak.
did bring the axe beak, didn't you? I can't remember.
Yes.
Yep.
Um,
And I'll feed the
and
axe beak.
you guys go down. There's okay. So this part we might play out a little bit. In the G containment, you go up to this metal cylinder with a statue face of Grotst on it, and so he figures out the way to open it, and it slides open and reveals this very creepy giant head, um, even bigger than Zeraphim. You imagine this guy must be like 9 or 10 feet tall. Um, but it's kind of like it's got its eyes closed, but it's smiling, and you can see its veins um, have a pulse, and it's inside of a kind of glass cylinder.
Can the
We're going to have to
four?
handle this very carefully, fellas. We have to
Yeah.
keep this contained. It's going to be handled very carefully.
Can we build a box to go around it?
Can we take it in the cylinder?
Okay, yeah. So you're able to take out part of the head is basically contained in a large cylinder, and then there's a smaller jar-like thing that it's in. And yeah, it looks like you'd be able to transport it within that kind of jar. But yeah, if you would like to put something around the jar, you could try to do that.
Yeah.
Box or a crate somewhere?
Blanket, and then
Yeah, let's say you grab the sheets off of Xanaphia's bed and wrap it up in there. Anything else you'd want to do?
Is there a crate that we can put it all in? Or a box, like a wooden crate?
Sure. I'll say in the storage room in the servant's place, there's some extra boxes around the mansion that you can find.
Okay, then we'll do that as well.
Okay.
Can I cast a detect magic spell on the container that it's on and
Okay.
such?
Sure. So doing that, the container itself doesn't seem to be magic. But you get a very strong reading from the head itself. It
would
doesn't
it
seem
help
that the container is actually containing
anything
him
special?
magically.
Is,
Would
so
it
is there
help?
any? All right. So it's what I'm trying to get at is there anything as far as um, keeping the head from being able to do something in order to try to escape or control?
It
Yeah.
doesn't seem like, yeah, as far as you can see, there's nothing controlling it or stopping it from doing anything here. Uh, and the hand that you had seen in Torale was just like floating. without
Right.
being contained at all. It's from what you've read about from Xanaphia's notes. It seems that when he was originally defeated, that the spell.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I can't. Okay, it's gonna have to be somebody else. I just checked my spells. I thought I had it, but I must have swapped it out at some point. I don't have that to cast right now.
Yeah. Icy has it, and she can do it as a ritual, so it doesn't take spell slots. So don't worry about
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Yeah. But
My
yeah, you
question
should
would,
check that next time before you do a spell.
Sorry, I'm bad.
Yeah, because
um,
if I told you a bunch of information that you're not supposed
You're
to know,
right.
that's kind of hard to
I,
take
I,
back.
a
you're
kind
right.
God.
I apologize. I should have.
Um,
All right,
he blasphemed.
be
So,
careful about that.
Yes.
if we poured holy water on the blanket that surrounds this thing, would that have any effect on its telepathic abilities?
Um. Okay, so I was in the middle of saying something about the spell. So what you guys read was that when he was defeated, he was placed under a spell, which is like containing him. So
Okay.
um, Zeraphim reported that he was getting some feelings, I guess, from him. Uh, it doesn't, as far as you can see, it's not casting spells.
But it's trying to exert influence.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to.
you're not sure how it's doing that, basically.
That's why
Um,
I thought sprinkling holy water on the blankets wrapped in might interfere with it.
Harbeck, I think, would know that the holy water shouldn't be able to limit that kind of thing. It's more for direct use of like it does damage on undead and things like that. Anyway,
Um,
yeah. Harbeck, are you wanting to try to contain this thing with some magic? I guess.
Okay. Yeah. In other words, I'm worried about the fact that somehow it was able to exert a force onto um, uh, Seraphim.
Okay, so I'll let you do
So
something that's not an official spell. Um, but how would you like to try to contain it? I will let you use a spell slot, and if you can describe to me like what you want to do to kind of use maybe a prayer or something to um create some
okay,
sort
what I want to do is
of
okay.
containment.
We're trying. That's exactly it. We're trying to contain it, and so there's something coming out. Coming out of it that affected Zeraphim. So what I would like to do is, if I could, is cast some sort of a spell that would sort of go around that and keep whatever force that the head is able to exert out and keeping that inside.
Okay. Do you have the spell ceremony or whatever that was prepared?
Um,
I don't think you do it right now.
we could take a lot. Well, we need to send a message anyway, so we could send a message, take a long rest, and then
Uh,
I could swap into that spell.
okay, that would take another day, but uh, if you would like to do that.
I think that might be that would allow us just to send a. It would allow us to send a message, and it would also uh, increase the chances of it. Or we could cast that spell after we've taken it out and put the we can do that at the last minute just before we bury the head or do whatever it is we decide we're going to do with it.
Wish we
Are
could
you-
just blow the head up with the house, but
Okay, so
That'll send it back to the abyss. We don't want to do that.
Right.
all right. I've decided we're gonna do it this way. I'm not gonna make you prepare the spell. It's not really an
Okay.
official use of it. So, do you have holy water still?
Yes.
So normally the that spell ceremony is meant to expend 25 gold worth of silver, which is the same of making holy water or something like that. So I will say if you use the spell slot and you consume this holy water in the spell, I will let you
Okay.
contain to like cast a containment spell to kind of make a
Neutralize.
sanctified box.
Okay, so I've got 2 holy waters. One enough to do that?
Yeah, so use one holy water, one spell slot, and I want you to roll a I think your spell attack is spell save 14
Religion?
modifier plus. So you do a roll with a +3 and see how effective this is.
Can't use my religion one?
Religion's +4. Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Shit. 1 + 4, 5.
All right, so you use your spell slot. You expend this holy water, but you don't feel it's that effective. You have done it though, so the box is giving off a very faint holy aura, but it's very faint.
Maybe distance what? Maybe he has to get really close to it now for it to work or something. Maybe.
We'll keep him away from it.
It's not gonna. It's doing a very minimal amount of protection, but it's
Now, do I have to
slightly
use a 1 or a 2 spell slot?
just first level spell slot,
Okay.
and your that holy water was expended.
Yep.
Okay, but yeah, that's what you can do for now. And so you guys did you want to go bury it? You were talking about.
I wanted to get it far enough away when this place detonates that it doesn't get destroyed.
Okay, good idea. So
I thought
okay.
for now we could just take it back with us to Thunder Tree or whatever the place we're going to.
Okay, so
I'd like
Celie
to
says.
bury it as soon as possible.
Well, if Zeraphin's with us, I don't know if I want to travel with Zeraphin and the head at the same time.
Me
We'll just-
neither.
We'll put him at the head of the group, and we'll have the ATC guys bring up the rear carrying it.
I
So that
bury
they're
it.
not close to him.
I'm with Harbeck. I think we need to get it far enough away and bury it before we join Zeraphim.
Celise will chime in and say, yeah, I think. How about, Rokus? You know your way around the forest. How about you go off alone with the head and bury it somewhere that you can find. By yourself. Then the rest of us can head back to Thunder Field, and you can meet us there.
Okay, that's fine.
That sounds good to me.
I have a shovel even.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it. All right, cool. So you guys start heading back to Thunderfield.
With
You gonna
Zeraphim?
set it to detonate after 2 hours?
Yep.
Anything else? Finn the hunter's with you now, and he seems to be in good shape. They didn't do anything to him.
Okay, now I've got a question. You sent us these pictures of the 4 different Eladrins in their, depending on the season.
Yes.
But is that a picture we've actually seen
The picture I sent you is not exactly how it would have been drawn in the book, but it would be more of a kind of an artistic rendition, more abstracted. But yeah,
Okay.
basically a wintry archer, and you know,
All
basically
right.
those
Okay.
figures. Yeah.
Okay. Does the one that's sees anger?
Okay.
Is he holding a scimitar?
Uh. Okay. Are you wondering if it's similar to the scimitar you found?
Yeah, but if it's abstracted, that's not going to help me.
I would say the shape of it, it doesn't really look the same as what you said.
Okay.
But yeah, it is abstracted, so it's a bit unclear, but doesn't really. The one in the picture was more like golden, and the one you guys
Okay.
found was like red. And the
Okay.
shape doesn't really look like it's matching.
Okay.
Oh, and I
Yeah.
have a question.
Okay.
What are you guys going to do with Harvey?
Yeah. I overlooked
Oh,
that.
we were letting Zeraphim. Uh,
My suggestion is tie him up and leave him in the in the place to detonate with it. Lock him up in the in the mansion.
We have, does Zeraphim have them?
Yeah,
Where is Harvey even?
Zeraphim threw him down in the main foyer. He's just been laying there while you've been talking. Um,
Destroying him along with the building. Because we gave him the opportunity to change his ways, and he wasn't interested.
yeah, Zeraphim says, yeah, you know, people like this, they get through their whole life paying their way out of trouble. And I don't think I think even though you guys caught him, he was still not even scared of paying any consequences because he couldn't even imagine that that the ATC wouldn't just bail him out. But he was wrong. And Zeraphim
And I agree with you, Zeraphim.
Zeraphim uses his he uses telekinesis to pick up his sword. It flies over to his hand, and he lifts Harvey up by his neck and then cuts his feet off with one very quick slash, and they start spurting blood out, and Harvey's muffled scream comes out through the gag, and he says, "Yeah, let's leave him downstairs to blow up. I don't know if he'll bleed out first or explode, but that'll be fine."
okay.
So yeah, you guys go. He tosses Harvey down the stairs into the lab area, and he he goes off to the forest to wait for you guys to deal with the head and everything. So this is sort of out of order, but
Yeah.
he goes off and waits, and Rokus goes down. You guys get the head and you sanctify the box with not very strong force field there. Uh, and Rokus and Celise are the last two down there. She sets up the self destruct for 2 hours, and she says, "I think we've got everything of value out of here. Let's get out of here." So you guys head upstairs.
You lead on.
Rokus kind of hangs back a bit, and you guys, the majority of the group heads off. Finn offers to go with you, Rokus. since he's familiar with the woods too.
Um,
I'm not
I
really
just
thrilled
assume,
with anyone else knowing where it is.
yeah,
You could find him and
yeah,
torture him to get him to find out where it is. So I don't like that.
Okay, Finn.
yeah,
When you say torture, Finn says, "Never mind."
yeah.
uh, so Ruckus, you head off by yourself, and the rest of the group goes. On the way, you find a giant snake, dead and impaled on a tree. And Zeraphim says, "Oh yeah, I found this snake on the way here."
Well, thanks. I think you saved us some trouble. It had been living in the mansion.
I was wondering where it was.
That's all I got to say.
So yeah, the main group gets out. Ruckus, do a survival check. See how successful you are with navigating.
Let's see, 16.
Okay, yeah. You're able to find a place that you think is a suitable hiding spot. It's next to kind of a small cliff at the bottom of it. Um, so it's a pretty easy to remember spot, and the soil is easy to dig through there. And you're able to dig a pretty deep hole and put it in. Anything else you want to do?
Yeah, I want to cover it with rocks.
Okay, yeah, there's rocks and stuff around.
Yeah, I'll spend some time making sure that it's got a pretty good mound of rocks over it.
Okay. And you're pretty good at camouflaging things too, so you're able to make it look relatively natural.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And you're able to find your way back to Thunderfield. And the rest of the group is there. And the ATC has this car thing that they had parked. The auto carriage was parked at the edge of the forest.
How long does it take to get to Thunderfield?
Um, it only takes a few hours. The auto carriage moves pretty quickly, so it gets ahead of you guys.
Okay. At what point in the trip do we hear this giant, feel this big vibration and hear this big boom?
Okay, yeah, that's right. So I think you'd be about at the edge of the forest. Uh, yeah, maybe a ways into the grasslands before you would feel the explosion. And yeah, there's like a giant cloud of green tinged smoke rising up, kind of like a giant mushroom cloud. And yeah, there's a blast of wind and the ground shakes a bit. And yeah, you think you probably can see the smoke from all the way from Thunderfield once you get there.
Does
Okay.
Icy have the ability to discern whether or not the trees are starting to feel better now?
Um, she, I would say she doesn't get any immediate effect. Um, if you ask, so Celise is there, so if you're asking it, you're asking out loud, kind of. She would say, I don't think these particular trees have much chance of returning to life, but the land itself should be able to return to fertility with some help.
Kind of help.
Spell of fertilizer.
She's not really familiar with your group that much, but I think she realizes Icy's a druid at this point, so she would say, yeah, I think, you know, you and your druid circle would probably know more about restoring the land than I do. And yeah, I see you know that there are some druid spells that are specifically for making plants grow and increasing fertility in plants and stuff.
And plus, I have the ability to talk to plants to ask them if they're feeling better.
Yeah, you could literally ask it if it's feeling better. That's true.
Maybe later.
Now,
Most of the trees that were not feeling good have just been destroyed.
I just want to go see Mom and Pops and have a mug of beer to celebrate blowing up that mansion and defeating all that evil and having Zeraphim on our side. Let's go have a beer. Let's go celebrate.
Okay, now.
And then we can send a note through the sending stone. Let's go have a beer and write up our note.
Rokus hadn't gotten there yet because he went off in a different direction.
Yeah.
Who did?
Rokus. So yeah, Rokus isn't with
behind.
you guys.
Okay, well we can have we'll have one beer, and then when Rokus comes, we'll have a second beer.
All right, cool. You guys come out of the forest and you see the explosion, and you all get on your horses. Zeraphim and the ATC allies get into their auto carriage, and it glides silently across the grass as you head back to Thunderfield for your beer. Rokus arrives about an hour later than everyone else, and you are back in Thunderfield.
Okay. Given the time, I would suggest that we, with email, figure out what we're going to finally send as our report of 25 words or less. And we can start the next adventure next Sunday with us. It's probably pretty late anyway.
Yeah, it's about time to stop.
Yeah, with us taking a long rest, and just before we take the long rest, send our report to the sending stone.
I think that's a good idea. And there's another thing, which is you guys have adventured around for so long, fought so many things, and gone through so much turmoil that I cannot resist leveling you up any longer. You guys are now going to be level 6.
Okie doke.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
See you guys next time then.
All right. So you're gonna be.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay. So